Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
The U.S.-Russian summit.
Russia has been called the U.S.'s enemy. Look at the streets of America. Every single day there are shootings and killings. Look at what the U.S. is doing, not Russia.
The tone of the entire meetings was good. I made it clear to President Putin.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
When has Joe Biden made anything clear? Oh, my gosh.
Come on, man.
Joe. No new fish down at the Big Rock. 100 boats went out today. Actually, 147. And yesterday about this time, the big fish came in. 521-pound blue marlin came in Tuesday, and they are now in with the first. They got $828,750 in their pocket. If that ends up being the biggest fish, they'll have somewhere around $5 million in their pocket. So the natural sits on top of the leaderboard. No new fish today.
Actually, somebody I know is on the leaderboard with a wahoo. Of course, that's not. I don't think it's probably a couple $1,000, but
How big a wahoo? Wahoo!
Yeah, I got to see. I got to find it. It was a nice size one. I know that, but
So Joe and Putin have a sit-down meeting. Joe brings a set of cheat cards with him.
those famous index cards he keeps in his shirt pocket.
I mean, but the print on them so large that anybody within a stone's throw could probably read them. Nothing exudes strength and confidence than a good set of cheat cards when you sit down.
Yeah, they remind me of those. People our age will remember this. The little 3x5 cards when you're studying the alphabet.
Oh yeah, the flashcards.
Yeah, little flashcards.
Yeah, he's got flashcards for Putin.
Big A, little A, big B, little B.
So the big, highly anticipated meeting with Joe Biden and Putin. Joe says it was good and positive, saying he made no threats to his Russian counterpart, but warned of consequences. I'd like to hear Joe make a threat.
Putin said, "I must break you."
That's pretty good. Biden said there was a lot of hype around the meeting, but it was straightforward. He said, and I quote, "There's absolutely no substitute for face-to-face dialogue between two leaders, none. Share a unique responsibility to manage the relationship between two powerful and proud countries. The president maintains that the U.S. relationship with Russia has to be stable and predictable, and said the countries should be able to cooperate where it is in our mutual interest. We have differences where I want Putin to understand why I say what I say and why I do what I do and how I will respond. Quote, my agenda is not against Russia or anyone else. It is for the American people fighting COVID, rebuilding our economy, establishing the relationships around the world with our allies and friends, and protecting the American people." Now, do you want me to give you the Reader's Digest of all this? What you have are two world leaders that are both crooks, and they are getting together and mutually acting like they respect one another, while each of them is taking money hand over fist, stuffing it in their own pockets and stuffing it in their kids' pockets. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, the Biden crime family and the Putin crime family have gotten together like two mafia bosses, and they act like, we'll kiss each other on the cheek like the mafia bosses do. We'll pretend that we're really having these deep discussions of world impact and importance, while they are basically, with a wink and a nod, looking at each other and saying, you keep stealing from your people and I'll keep stealing from mine. And by the way, while you're at it, if the mayor of Moscow's widow has any extra money she can send over to my son Hunter, that would be much appreciated.
But Putin, I guarantee you, after the talks, Putin and his team, they're just sitting back having a drink of vodka or cognac and laughing it up how stupid the American president is.
Well, how stupid the American people are that we are not a little bit more angry that we're allowed this current president to be sitting in the White House.
I mean, just in recent times, except for when Trump put pressure on Russia, they're practically invading Ukraine.
Yeah.
And, within during the Obama administration, they basically were trying to take over Georgia for the simple fact that Georgia had the natural resources they want, just like the Ukraine's got the natural resources that they want because.
Sure. We're going to come in and take it.
Ukraine used to be part of, the Soviet Union, and that's southern part of the former Soviet Union where you can actually grow things, where there's actually a growing season, and there's not, a 45-day growing season like there is in Russia.
Russia needs that, and they're going to come take it. Biden went on to say there were no threats. It was very, as we say, which will shock you, coming from me, somewhat colloquial. He added, I know we make foreign policy to be this great, great skill, but it's just a logical extension of personal relationships. It is the way human nature functions. Biden went on to say he doesn't think Putin is looking for a Cold War with the United States. This was not a kumbaya moment, Biden said, but it is clearly not in anybody's interest, yours or mine, to be in a situation where we're in a new Cold War. Now listen to what he said. Again, let me just sum it up. The phrases which Joe Biden used to describe this meeting. Quote, there is no substitute for face-to-face dialogue between two leaders, none. He goes on to say, to manage the relationship between two powerful and proud countries. Biden said the meeting was good, positive. Quote, I know we make foreign policy to be this great, great skill, but it's just a logical extension of personal relationships. You know what's interesting about this? The words might not be exactly the same, but in inference, this is basically the same way Donald Trump would describe his meeting with Kim Jong-un, with Biden, with Putin, and with Xi. Mm-hmm. I mean, basically, it's the same description. Now, maybe Trump was a little bit more flowery, but he would come out and say, listen, if we're going to have dialogue, if we're going to get along, then the leader of that country and myself, we need to get along. And yeah, okay, I like the guy. I mean, I might not agree with his politics. And what did the media do? They went nuts. The mainstream media started foaming at the mouth. How dare you say something kind or respectable about Putin, Kim Jong-un, or Xi? Don't you know they're murderers, they're killers? And yet you want to, we were told that World War III would break out with North Korea because of the way that Donald Trump described his meeting and the fact that he got together with Kim Jong-un. And guess what? World War III didn't happen. But how do you think they're going to describe this meeting with Biden and Putin? Now, you're going to have that, and I've got the audio of Biden snapping at that reporter, and there was a little bit of pushback on that. But overall, the mainstream media will report this as just one of the greatest meetings of two world leaders in the history of the United States.
Well, they won't ask him a substantive question about the meetings, the foreign policy issues, because here's the bottom line. In Russia has been trying to, their only hope to continue to be remotely a world power is to expand their territories. That's the absolute only way, because they have a rapidly decreasing population and zero immigration. I mean, that's fact.
People aren't swimming across the river to get into Russia.
And you can't continue to be a world superpower without a growing population. And their population, their life expectancy is horrible because so many people are living in poverty over there. People
starving to death.
You have two social classes generally over there, and so their only way is to expand their territories. And who's going to stop them? There's no one will stop them except for the United States. China, the only way China will stop them is if essentially they cut a deal and say,
they'll cut a deal.
This is your territory, this is my territory.
Yeah.
United States is the only thing, and people in Europe are too stupid to realize that. Where are they going to go? They're not going to swim across the ocean to expand their territories. They're going to go east and go south.
Well, and
west and south.
Europe is helping to finance Russia,
yep.
And they're buying all their energy needs from Russia.
And what's so bad about it is, United States companies basically showed them how to extract oil.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known several people that's worked there for the last 25 years. And
and somehow the Democrats, I'm not saying all these companies are Democrats, but the Democrats, I mean, remember back to, was it Bill Clinton or Jimmy Carter that basically told communist China how to gave them the technology to develop precise ball bearings, so that they could, and what happened? Now they have missiles equivalent to ours.
And Donald Trump is the first president, Democrat or Republican, that you can that went into meetings and basically said, you know what, we are through bending over for the world.
Yeah,
we are through getting taken advantage of, and that comes from his negotiation skills. Where and I've seen people in business this way, where they set the tone of the meeting by saying, you just sit back and said, what in the heck? Yeah. But then when they leave the room, you're like, well, gosh, we got to meet in the middle somewhere. But,
right.
But you walk out. Well, the middle was maybe two-thirds way because of he set the tone early on. And
which
Trump
is total opposite of how Biden does it. Biden immediately gives in before he even gets to the meeting. And then the opposition says, how much further can we push Biden?
If it's not on those cue cards, Biden doesn't know what he's talking about, plain and simple.
So Biden, after he held a little press conference, so he met with Putin, and they had a brief press conference, which was, again, it was one of those typical press conferences that Biden holds where he handpicks the reporters he's going to call on. He knows, I guarantee you, he knows the questions before they're asked.
Yeah.
And he has the answer written out for him. But as he was leaving, there was questions that were shouted out to him. And Biden snapped at a reporter at the end of his press conference earlier today in Geneva. After he was asked, why was he confident Russian President Vladimir Putin would change his previously negative behavior? Biden, who was walking away after saying that he was committed to freeing Americans imprisoned in Russia, whirled around at his questioner and said, I'm not confident he'll change his behavior. What in the hell? What do you do all this time? It was Caitlin Collins of CNN when she was speaking, asking the questions of Biden. Here's that give and take, cut one.
I say again, we can't hear you. I said the families of the detained Americans came up and we discussed it. We're going to follow through with that discussion. I am not going to walk away on this.
Why are you so confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm not confident he'll change behavior. What do you do all the time? So when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was, let's get it straight. I said what will change their behavior is if the rest of the world reacts to them and it diminishes their standing in the world. I'm not confident of anything. I'm just stating the fact.
But given his past behavior has not changed, and in that press conference after sitting down with you for several hours, he denied any involvement in cyber attacks. He downplayed human rights abuses. He even refused to say Alexei Navalny's name. So how does that account to a constructive meeting as President Putin?
If you don't understand that, you're in the wrong business.
Is the summit with China?
If you don't understand that, you're in the wrong business.
What an ass.
Well, now we do have to agree with one thing. He said, I'm not confident of anything. And when it comes to Joe, we're not either, Joe.
I'm confident in that.
Why am I here?
We don't know.
But you remember when, here's the press, they're not talking about, laughing. 2012, Romney versus Obama in the presidential debates.
Right. Kathleen Crowley.
Romney talked about Russia's threat to the United States and foreign policy, maybe the greatest threat, and Obama laughed it off. As, the 80s have called back their foreign policy back.
Yeah.
And that's a valid question. I mean, Obama's running the White House now.
Oh, big time.
He just is. Why don't someone says, what's changed from 2012 to 2021?
Good question.
What's changed? What's changed?
Good question.
Somebody with an ounce of journalism skills then would ask that question.
So his response, if you don't understand, you're in the wrong business. To that, Olivia Nuzzi from the New Yorker magazine said, if you're the most powerful person in the world and you can't field questions from the media without losing your temper, maybe you're in the wrong business. But that's as rough as it's going to get. Don't expect the media to give Cousin Eddie a hard time. Ain't gonna happen.
You having a good time, Joe?
I didn't even get a chance to watch any of this today, but I can guarantee it. I guess I'll watch it tonight. But I guarantee he called on the girl from NPR that's that just always jumped on Trump all the time, and
April, what's her face?
I don't know. She's black, and
yeah. April something. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I guarantee you she threw some softball to him.
Well, and I guarantee you he didn't call Peter Doocy.
Yeah. No.
The before we go to break, speaking of Joe, this is good news for America. If you're tired of seeing your gas prices go up and up and up and up, the Epoch Times is reporting a federal judge in Louisiana has blocked Biden's suspension of new oil and gas leases on federal land and water, delivering a setback to the administration's effort to clamp down on fossil fuels. U.S. District Judge Terry Doughty filed on January 15th, granting a preliminary injunction in a 13-state lawsuit led by Louisiana Republican Attorney General Jeff Landry. This is a victory not only for the rule of law, but also for the thousands of workers who produce affordable energy for Americans, Landry said in a statement. Now, it's going to be interesting because there's also a lawsuit out there concerning the XL pipeline and restarting that. Technically, the injunction amounts to a halt of the Biden administration's suspension of new drilling permits with a nationwide effect, pending further arguments on the merits of the case. Now, my question is, you still have Biden bureaucrats in charge of handing out the permits. Mm-hmm. So while they're going to come out and they say, you can't do that, we're putting an injunction on your ruling to stop the permits, the judge will not be there to make sure that the permits start flowing again. All he has said is that's unconstitutional, you can't do that, and we're going to wait upon the court hearing. And the reason why he did that is because the Biden administration didn't go through the proper procedure, having an opportunity for public comment and those kind of things. But take my word for it, because I've been through this personally with the FCC. Just because a judge comes in and says you can't do that doesn't mean that if you're standing in line waiting for your permit that you're going to get it back.
The most precious commodity of a business is time, and bureaucrats love to use time as a deterrent. They just drag their feet.
Big time. Lots more to come. Love to hear from you. 561-8255. News and Views continues right after this.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Passalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas. You got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
First thing you should do after work.
I turn on the radio.
Check in with Tom and Benny.
Gotta know what's happening in my city. What's going on in my backyard.
Things that are happening locally.
I like the local news.
Things that I don't hear everywhere else.
For the local news you want.
Kept me informed for all of the local stuff, you know. It let me know what was going on in the local community.
Eastern Carolina's news source is News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome back in, and it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It will be beautiful through Sunday. Basically, 10 to 15% chance of rain between now and then. Most of sunshine, and boy, the weather out today, gorgeous. 84 degrees today for your high, and it's going to be that way for the next couple of days. Saturday, it gets up to 96, Sunday 91, but lots of sunshine, so get out and enjoy.
Today, to me, is perfect weather. 85 with very low humidity, to me, is perfect.
Sounds good to me. 561-8255. We got Jennifer on the line. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good to hear from you. What's up?
I have a question. So
Okay.
I was wondering if you knew where they're at with that bill. I think it's HB 558 to try to protect people from being forced to get the vaccine.
The state bill you're talking about?
Yes.
You know, we talked to Tim Moore about that last week, and we've talked to Keith Kidwell. I'm not sure. Let us do a little investigation, and we'll see if we can come back with an answer for you.
If it's in North Carolina, forcing you to get a vaccine, it ain't happening. Not with this legislature. I can pretty much tell you that.
Well, the reason why I'm concerned is because, you know, that hospital in Texas that I think the judge threw out their case. There was over 100 employees who were trying to not be forced, and now they're all going to be fired. Is that right?
You know, here's the problem with that scenario is who are they going to get to replace them? I mean, right now there's a shortage of workers. I can't believe they would fire those people. If those people stand strong, they will keep their jobs and they won't have to take the vaccine.
HB 558 is a Texas bill. Yeah, that's.
But there is an equivalent to that in North Carolina, is there not?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I thought that was the same code, but maybe not. But I'm concerned because I'm in healthcare and I'm worried, and I have relatives in other states that are in healthcare as well, and they've already been told by their employers that if they don't, they're going to give them a deadline, then they're going to be fired there as well. And I feel like everybody's being bullied, and you know, it's your body, your choice. It's, you know, really,
not when you're on the wrong side of the issue. It's not. That's a great response. My body, my choice. But yeah.
Irony's pretty ironic at times.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. We'll see if we can get Tim Moore, Keith Kidwell on the phone and get an answer for you.
Yeah, North Carolina's bill is.
Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate the call. See if you can get. You got Keith's number. Yeah. All right. See if you can get Keith on the line. Our producer, Clark Willis, jumping on that. Life News is reporting a federal appeals court has struck down a North Carolina law that bans late-term abortions, including on viable babies. The law bans abortion after 20 weeks when unborn children feel pain, and by 22 weeks, unborn babies are capable of surviving outside the womb. Planned Parenthood and a group of abortion practitioners filed a lawsuit way back in 2016 challenging North Carolina's 20-week abortion limit. A federal district court had the suit and issued a ruling striking down the law. In a decision earlier today, 3-judge panel of the Fourth Circuit Court upheld that decision. And interestingly, of the three judges out of the Fourth Circuit, one was a Clinton appointee, one was an Obama appointee, and one was a Trump appointee. But here's the thing. The North Carolina law that they're talking about that was passed back in 2015, the original, if you go back to Roe v. Wade and actually read that law said, except in the case of an emergency, we're not going to have any abortions after 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the problem. As is typical with organizations that, give me, what's the definition of is? Planned Parenthood, which, their name is an oxymoron. But, so, okay, Keith Kidwell's in session. We'll see if we can get you an answer, Jennifer, for somebody else. The bottom line was, though, that they fudge on what the definition of an emergency is. And by the way, so does Cooper. I mean, we're still in a state of emergency according to Cooper, right? But their idea that, okay, well, this is an emergency because the mother might have psychological issues if she goes through this pregnancy. I mean, basically you can get it down to a hangnail kind of emergency. Well, in 2015, the North Carolina legislature passed this law that gave a definition to what an emergency was. So they're not changing the law. They're not reining in the 20. I mean, the 20-week deal isn't anything new. They merely gave a definition to the word emergency as it applied to getting an abortion. And that is what they're so upset with. Now, you'd think if they're honest, they'd say, well, thank you. You finally gave us some definition. We know what, it's been gray and now it's black and white. They don't want it black and white.
Nope.
They want it gray. Mm-hmm. They want to have the ability to come up with any lame brain excuse they want to provide an abortion anytime, anywhere, for any reason. And that's, they're fudging it. And they do not like the fact that the state legislature of North Carolina passed the law signed by the governor, which said this is what the word emergency means as it applies to abortion. And now the Fourth Circuit has knocked it down.
Well, you know what President Obama said way back when he was president. He said he would hate for one of his daughters to be inconvenienced by a child in their life. I mean, he said that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was almost
pretty much what he said. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. The News and Observer is reporting that Wake County school leaders say they'll continue to follow state guidelines that require masks to be worn in schools despite calls from some family members to unmask their children. Last night at the Wake County School Board meeting, a number of parents got up and said, would you please not force these kids to wear masks? And this is humorous. Keith Sutton, who is the school board chairman of Wake County, said, quote, as I indicated in several emails to constituents, we took an oath as an elected officials to maintain the laws and Constitution of the state and the United States. So I don't think I will change any of my previous decisions. We'll continue to have the mask. Otherwise, that would be a violation of the law. Oh, yeah, right. Your dying devotion to the United States Constitution is the reason why you are forcing children to wear masks.
And is it a law? How's it a law? It's an executive order?
Yeah, it's an executive order. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. Yeah. And in fact, if you really want to get down to the Constitution, then you would ignore this executive order. Because executive orders... I realize that our law has it that there is an emergency, the state of emergency where the governor has certain powers, which is, and now you have the legislature that's trying to overturn that for good reason. This is, and again, he says, well, we're going to follow the mandates of the CDC, and current guidance follows the recommendations of the CDC to protect children from COVID-19, particularly as new and more contagious variants are on the rise and children under 12 cannot currently be vaccinated, Katie Armstrong, DHHS spokeswoman, said in an email today. We expect that all schools will follow the guidance outlined in the toolkit to fulfill their obligation to keep their students safe. What a load of crap. And by the way, there's an article out today that talks about the fact that kids that are breathing in their own breath and all the garbage that's caught up in the masks is not doing them any good. It's doing them harm. And by the way, kudos to Harnett County. So last week, Harnett County said, "Screw the governor. We're not making them wear it." Yeah.
That's what, Dunn, I guess, Dunn, the area off 95.
Yeah. Smithfield, Dunn, that area down there. The one over from Johnson County, I guess it is. DHSS and Cooper's office have not responded to questions from the N&O, and they're not going to respond. I honestly think they don't want this to go to court, because if it does, they might get a judge that would tell Cooper, "You've overextended your stay in emergency land."
Now, did I see where New York has relaxed a lot of their
Everybody
requirements?
else has.
Yeah.
If you had a list of
New York and California, I think, relaxed.
California did yesterday. If you had a list of all the states that have relaxed and what order chronologically, we'd be 50.
Mandy Cohen, the News Observer Person of the Year.
Yeah. This is interesting. Chapel Hill is probably the most liberal city in the state of North Carolina. Wouldn't you hear?
Yeah, either that or Hillsborough. I went through Hillsborough this past weekend, and it's just different. It's a neat little town, but when I start looking at people and looking at their stickers and what it says on their cars, there's a lot of nuts in Hillsborough.
Well, if that's the suburb of the capital of nuts, which is Chapel Hill.
Yeah, it's a county seat for
it is.
for Orange County.
It is. But Asheville is up there. That's sort of become the gay capital of the East.
San Francisco of the South.
And then you got Durham. Mm-hmm. That's up there. Many Democrat cities, like Durham, adopted the defund the police language, anti-police. They painted right in front of the police station. Last year, they painted in huge letters. They painted defund, and they had an arrow pointing Durham, to the front door of the police station in Durham. Believe it or not, end of last week at a session up there with the city council, they voted to paint over the defund sign that's painted, and also paint over, they put the word fund painted in front of the Health and Human Services building on Main Street. So as long as we have more money in health and human services, that's going to take care of the crime problem. And look, I mean, we talked about this endlessly when they were doing this defunding last year, that there's no way this is going to work. Mm-hmm. It's going to end badly. Did they know that it would end badly? I think I think the actual heads of BLM and Antifa knew it would end badly for the people that actually wanted law and order. But you also have plenty. If you're watching on Cable 7 or on Facebook, there's the defund picture that Clark got up.
I think a lot of these cities are starting to realize, we got caught up in a moment, and that was really stupid. I mean, you look at what's going on. We talked about yesterday in Atlanta and Buckhead area, but here in North Carolina, Asheville was a mess. I mean, Asheville's losing officers hand over fist. They're putting out lists. We may have talked about it. They're putting out lists of here's the crimes that we will not respond to because we can't get to them. A friend of mine that's from Asheville that lives, instead of Buncombe County now, lives in Madison County, which is outside of Asheville. He sent me an article the other day that said there have been 4 homicides in downtown Asheville.
And Asheville is traditionally, in some cities in North Carolina, you expect that. Asheville, their history has not been one of murder.
No, I mean, people smoke dope and look weird, but other than that, that's about it. and they got some good restaurants, really good restaurants. But I mean, there's some freaks that walk the street there. But typically, you don't worry about going out for dinner and going to an art museum and getting shot.
I just had my hair washed.
We're going to take a time out.
But you can walk down the streets of Asheville and get high. I mean,
just breathe deeply.
Just breathing.
You don't have to go out and buy anything. All you got to do is go to Asheville and breathe. When we get back, there was a we'll talk about it when we get back. Our military's in trouble is all I'll say. We'll talk about that when we get back.
the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder.
This is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in
Father not only knows best.
You don't need the umbrella. Come on, let's go.
He knows all. But how?
500 feet. Turn right.
Turn that thing off. I know where I'm going.
Don't worry, Dad. We won't tell.
They were doing this at the Wuhan.
I told you it was China. Didn't I tell you it was China?
From one know-it-all to another.
Dad.
Yeah. I know.
Happy Father's Day. From News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
I know the solution. Go ask your mother.
All right, folks, changing gears here a little bit from Father's Day to the military. We're in deep trouble. It's bad enough that we have lowered our physical standards to allow, and probably not in the too distant future, require women in combat. I mean, it's a fact. The things that you had to do to be in the military in combat, there was a certain level that you had to accomplish, otherwise you got the boot, and that's been compromised because we want to be politically correct. It's bad enough that we're telling transgenders, come on in. Are they paying for their operations yet? They will be, if they aren't already.
I think they actually are.
Yeah. Instead of being a organization that protects, that destroys and kills because for our protection, people, oh, that's terrible that that's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do. They're there to protect us from people who want to kill us. Not anymore. Yesterday, an explosive series of questions fired at him on the Hill. Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Michael Gilday was grilled about recommending critical race theory activist Ibram X. Kente's book, How to Be Anti-Racist, for every sailor in the U.S. Navy to read. Republican Study Committee Jim Banks, chairman, conducted a blistering interview in the House hearing, pointing out that the Navy recently completed a one-day stand-down to remove extremism from the ranks, with the Chief of Navy Personnel explaining, We will not tolerate extremist ideologies that go against our oath to the Constitution. Banks pressed, in my view, Kinty has espoused extremist beliefs that clearly violate the oath to the Constitution that I took when I served in the Navy. Ibram Kinty, by the way, labeled Amy Coney Barrett a white colonizer and criticized her for cutting the biological parents of these children out because she's adopted 2 children from Haiti. Yes or no, Admiral, do you personally consider opposition to interracial adoption and extremist beliefs? As you can imagine, Gilday protested, didn't answer. He said, I do not support everything Kinty said in his book. Fired back, Banks said, I just ask you, do you consider opposition to interracial adoption to be an extremist belief? It's a simple question. Banks, and again, no answer. Banks asked a little later. Kinte's book states that capitalism is essentially racist, and Kinte is clear that racism must be eliminated. So yes or no, do you personally consider advocating for the destruction of American capitalism to be extremist? Again, Gilday dodged. Here's what I know, Congressman. There's racism in the Navy. I have an obligation. Still later, Banks pointed to claims highlighted in a New Yorker article on Kinte. In college, Kinte wrote that white people are a different breed of humans and are responsible for AIDS. Yes or no, do you personally consider the conspiracy that white people started AIDS to be an extremist belief? Gilday deflected, sir, I have to understand the context of the statements that were made. Unbelievable. Banks concluded his questions with this: do you expect that after sailors read this book that says the United States is racist, that we will increase or decrease morale, cohesion, and recruiting rates in the United States Navy? Here's how that went.
So if sailors accept Kindy's argument that America and the United States Navy are fundamentally racist, as you've encouraged them to do you expect that to increase or decrease morale and cohesion or even recruiting into the United States Navy?
I do know this: our strength is in our diversity, and our sailors understand that. Racism in the United States is a very complex issue. What we benefit from is an open discussion about those issues, that we don't try to ignore it or rewrite it, but we actually have a discussion about it. And there'll be various views, and I trust sailors will come and to an understanding of hopefully separating from fact from fiction, agreeing or disagreeing with Kindy in this case, and come to hopefully very useful conclusions about how we ought to treat each other in the United States.
Admiral, why did you put this book on the reading list and recommend it that every single United States sailor read it?
Because I think it's really important to consider a variety of views.
Admiral, you said you read this book. What part of this book is redeeming and qualifies as something that every sailor in the United States should read it?
About his own journey as an African American in this country, what he's experienced.
Let me ask you again, Admiral, do you expect that after sailors read this book that says that the United States Navy is racist, that we will increase or decrease morale, cohesion, and recruiting rates into the United States Navy?
I think we'll be a better Navy from having open, honest conversations about racism.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You know, these are the same people that would have said you can't legislate morality. Mm-hmm. These are the same people that if a officer was to have someone under him come in seeking advice, and they had a Bible, and he said, well, son, my recommendation is why don't you go read the Gospel of John? I think that will help you. He'd be brought up on charges. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the truth. It's happened. It has happened. And yet this guy, in his naivety or his liberalism, is saying, go out and read this book that is not going to do anything but make the matter worse. I mean, look at Obama as Exhibit A. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was supposed to be the great uniter. Under Obama, we didn't have a lot of uniting going on. We had a lot of division going on. Look where we are today after those years of Obama. This is unbelievable. And yet, this guy can get up and, without any defense, continue to propagate this critical race theory, which, look, if you've got the chief of naval operations promoting this book, folks, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Our military's in trouble.
I wish he would have asked, because I've been hit with this question before in organizations, the issue of diversity. I wish he would have asked, okay, you talk about the diversity is important to the Navy. Describe to me what you mean diversity. And what I mean by that is, I agree diversity is important in any organization. In business, if I hire people exactly like me,
right.
Number one, I'm going to have a pretty limited business because I've got some skills that I'm exceptional at. I've got some I'm not worth a darn at. So I'm looking for people with diverse backgrounds, skills, experiences to complement me.
Right.
The color of the skin, I don't give a dang about.
Well, here's the other issue, too. In the Navy, if you have an issue, you deal with the person. If you have someone in the Navy who is a racist and is treating people improperly,
you
deal with it. Deal with that individual, but you don't come in and kill a gnat with a machine gun. And that's exactly what they're doing. And look, Mark Robinson, he espoused this very well in his speech at the convention last week.
Oh, and he's blown up, by the way, since that speech at the North Carolina GOP.
He's all over.
We may not be able to get him back again.
I think we will. I've got his personal number. We'll get him back.
Every time I turn on national news, there's Mark Robinson. Uh-oh.
But look, I mean, he said these people on the left are trying to create something that's not there.
Yeah.
It's an answer in search of a problem,
well,
and it's the wrong answer.
Well, here's their solution. Their solution is, if you're white, you're racist, and you're the problem.
That's critical race theory.
Yeah,
in a nutshell. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Your trade has never been worth more. Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. Sell us your old car for cash, up to 125% of book value, or trade up to Camry, just $189 a month. Get paid to trade now at Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. We'll pay you up to 125% of book value, even if you don't buy from us. Or trade up to Corolla, just $159 a month. Don't settle for less. Get more for your trade. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. We have Richard from Washington on the line. Hey, Richard, just got a couple of minutes.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Just a quick one. Back in 1974, under Admiral Elmo Zumwalt, U.S. Navy, had sensitivity training time, and we had to take time off from duties to do that. I tell you, everybody was broken up after that. The whites were in one corner, the blacks were in another corner, the Spanish was in another corner, and before that we had a cohesive unit. After that, it took a while to get everything straightened out.
Well, this is going to be 100 times worse than that, because they are propagating Marxist ideology, and the whole premise behind this book by Kinte is that whites are the problem. Whites are the problem. They are the enemy. And folks, it's not taking it too far. Go back to Nazi Germany, and they isolated the problem to the Jews.
Yep.
This guy is isolating the problem to the whites.
Had everyone hating the Jews.
Yeah. And this is what this guy's propagating, and he's saying it's not extremism. It's a sad day for the United States of America and the U.S. Navy. Hey, thanks for being with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Play a little political trivia. We'll see you at 5. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.